My name is Rebecca Lutzko, and I'm the United States Attorney here in the Northern District of Ohio. We are here today to announce the unsealing of a second superseding indictment charging 18 individuals with violating numerous federal laws in the Northern District of Ohio. Today's indictment supersedes two previous indictments. It adds new charges and charges additional individuals. 6 of those charged were arrested earlier today, while 15 were previously arrested and taken into custody. 3 defendants charged in the earlier indictment have already pled guilty. In particular, the second superseding indictment that was unsealed today adds several charges for engaging in organized crime and adds those to the previously charged drug trafficking conspiracy. These include a charge for racketeer influenced and corrupt organizations, or RICO, and that's a conspiracy, as well as charges for committing murder, kidnapping, and assault, all in aid of racketeering. It focuses on the criminal activities of the Fully Blooded Felons, one of Cleveland's most violent street gangs, which was based in Cleveland's Cedar Central neighborhood, but has tentacles throughout the district and in our state prisons and federal detention centers. Apprehending these violent criminals is the result of a comprehensive cross-agency strategy to curb and combat violent crime here in Northeast Ohio. So before further discussing the charges, I want to thank my law enforcement colleagues for their partnership in this effort. Of particular note, I first want to thank Special Agent in Charge Greg Nelson of the FBI Cleveland Division and his team of special agents who spearheaded this investigation. You will hear comments from SAC Nelson in just a few minutes. I also thank United States Marshal Pete Elliott and his deputy United States Marshals for their continued assistance and support in apprehending these individuals. Further, I would like to thank our local ATF and DEA officials for their collaboration to hold these individuals accountable. And finally, I thank Chief Dorothy Todd, Cleveland Division of Police, and the numerous Cleveland police officers assigned to our federal task force who worked diligently on this investigation, often at great danger to themselves. The federal-local partnership with Cleveland was instrumental to a successful investigation, and the work of those officers was a critical component that supports the organized crime charges that we announce here today. I'd also like to extend a welcome to our representatives from the front office of the Department of Justice, Dave Brody, who you'll hear from next, and further welcome Section Chief David Jaffe from the department's criminal division and its violent crime and racketeering section, which is the section that is partnering with the United States Attorney's Office in bringing this prosecution. So back to the charged individuals. These individuals are members of the notorious street gang that's known as the Fully Blooded Felons, or FBF. FBF started originally as a branch of another gang known as the Heartless Felons, but later it split off on its own. FBF has been active in Northeast Ohio for over a decade and had a significant presence in Cleveland, particularly in the Cedar Central neighborhood, where they have undermined the safety of that neighborhood for years. As alleged in the second superseding indictment, the Fully Blooded Felons resorted to the worst kinds of violent acts, including murder, kidnapping, assault, and robbery. They also conspired to distribute fentanyl, methamphetamine, and other poisons, and committed numerous firearms violations. Importantly, however, these were not individual random acts of violence or other criminal conduct. To the contrary, as the second superseding indictment alleges, the charged individuals operated in concert as part of an organized, multi-layered, and extensive criminal conspiracy to enrich themselves, to preserve their power, their territory, their reputation, and their profits. They carried out their malicious actions. FBF leaders, members, and associates operated as an enterprise established for the common purpose of achieving their criminal objectives. As alleged in the indictment, the FBF's highest-ranking member, Raven Mullins, created the organization's framework, modeling his enterprise after long-standing organized crime syndicates. He styled himself as the Godfather and created a structure that included a group of high-ranking members known as commissioners, followed by the next sub-rank known as capos. FBF held meetings to discuss gang business and were required to abide by Amaretta, meaning a code of silence. All members followed a set of rules established by Godfather Raven Mullins, and they were subject to physical punishments and fines if they violated those rules. The indictment outlines several fully blooded felon members planning and carrying out violence on numerous occasions over about a 2-year period. That violence included robberies at gunpoint, actual and planned physical assaults, a multiple-day kidnapping where the victim was threatened with a firearm, accused of being a rat, and also sexually assaulted, and even murder. All of those crimes were committed to further the enterprise, its profits, power, reputation, and to create fear. The superseding indictment also alleges that the fully blooded felons gang operating what was essentially an open-air drug market on Cleveland's east side near their stash houses at the Cedar Central neighborhood apartment complex, near where they trafficked their illegal drugs. The drugs that they regularly peddled included fentanyl, methamphetamine, and other types of deadly and addictive controlled substances that have wrecked lives and created havoc here in Northeast Ohio. As the indictment alleges, gang members shared keys to the stash houses, they coordinated drug transactions, and they set up sales. They also used the stash houses to store numerous firearms, which members used to protect themselves and their drug inventory. Some of these drugs were acquired through a conspirator who regularly traveled to Texas and to Arizona. After these drugs were transported thousands of miles to cross into Ohio, fully blooded felon gang members further distributed those drugs here in our region. The fully blooded felons also attempted to operate a drug smuggling and drug distribution ring inside Ohio prisons and federal detention centers. They worked with incarcerated individuals to try to smuggle in drug-soaked paper and other contraband. Today's announcement is possible due to the extraordinary work of the Organized Crime Drug Enforcement Task Force, also known as OCDF. OCDF's mission is to identify, disrupt, and dismantle the highest level drug traffickers, money launderers, gangs, and transnational criminal organizations that threaten our country. It follows a prosecutor-led, intelligence-driven, multi-agency approach that leverages the strengths of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies against criminal networks. I am grateful to the dozens of law enforcement officers for their tireless patience and their persistence on investigations such as this one. Investigating these matters and securing sufficient evidence to prosecute these types of crimes can take weeks, months, and even years. But their dedication and willingness to take on incredibly dangerous work is what allows us to root out violent criminals like those charged in today's indictment from our communities. With these alleged criminals now in custody, both violent incidents and the flow of illegal drugs in Cleveland and elsewhere has been significantly reduced. We will continue to work tirelessly with our law enforcement partners to keep our neighborhoods safe and free from crime. Whether a fully blooded felon or another gang, members who have yet to be caught should think twice before continuing to engage in such violent, illegal, and disruptive behavior. I now welcome remarks from David Rohde, Senior Counsel for the Criminal Division of the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. Thank you.